you have a theme for this year's annual session?
So this year we're calling it Rebounding with Purpose.
Okay.
Because I think everybody is getting to the point where they know that nothing's going to change near term and they need to start focusing on business again. I want all my presenters to speak to the group as if they were speaking to their executives.
So working with established enterprises, I thought for a while, well, it was an innovation problem. The more I worked with them, I realized it's not really an innovation problem. It's this problem of how do you run a core business and then participate in the disrupted thing. And so that led to this book called Zone to Win, which, like Crossing the Chasm, it's the only two books that have really gone viral. I mean, people give this book to other people. They say, you got to read this. So I think the Zone to Win frameworks I'd love to be able to work in some way sharing that with the group in terms of how to, I'd love to do is say, okay, well, that's the theory. And by the way, it's a CEO topic for sure.
Yes.
But I think, if I were saying, well, if I were running a corporation, which I'm totally incompetent to do, but if I were running a corporation and Pat were my assistant, I said, what kind of a conversation would I have with Pat? And I think a lot of it would be about on what I would call the human realities of this model. So what happens is you have these 4 zones, and each zone has a different leadership model, and it has a different set of imperatives, even a different set of metrics. And people inside their zones have their own very local, it's kind of like 4 local economies, and then they argue across the zones, and then they get why? Well, how come he gets away with this and I don't? Or it's like the youngest kid and the oldest kid. How come you never let me go out when I was a little? How come you let him?